Hey guys, Zen here. Welcome back to the channel. Looks like we got a bunch of leaks into the new set. So quick spoiler, I'm on Reddit right now, the PTCGP Reddit subreddit for Pokemon Pocket. So if you don't want to see any of these spoilers, click off the video. I hope you appreciate the thumbnail is a little bit blurred. You might be able to still see what's on there. But with that being said, we're getting new tools, new items. The EXs are very surprising. I might have already started posting a bit on Twitter, so check it out over there. But with that being said, here we go. So many cards. Okay, we already know the rescue scarf. I'm gonna zoom in here, guys. Dark Pendant. If the darkness Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, your opponent reveals a random card from their hand and shuffles it into their deck. Okay, that's insane. This is the control already. This is just the first new card we're looking at. I hope you guys are ready for this. This is pretty insane. I can't wait to show you one of the supporter cards that my mind has just exploded. It's absolutely ridiculous. Steel Apron, what a name. The metal Pokemon this card is attached to takes -10 damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon, recovers from all special conditions, and pretty much just becomes Arceus. Okay, that's pretty awesome, dude. I'm trying to think what Pokemon you would put this in. Like, there's a new Pokemon that I definitely think you would play this with, but we'll wait until we get there. I don't want to jump ahead of myself, you guys. Let's keep going. Squirt Bottle, discard a fire energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. This is literally just the counter Stoke Zard. They stoke, they get their 5, boom. No, you go, or they get to 4, boom, they're back to 3, right? So that's my headcanon, what this Squirt Bottle's for. Other than that, there's really no reason. And then the Elemental Switch, we already know this card. Now moving on to new supporter cards. Oh, you might have gotten a little spoiled on the bottom there. Let's click this. We already know Lyra, this card right here, guys. Please take a second, grab a seat if you're standing. The next time you flip any number of coins for the effect of an attack, ability, or trainer card, after using this card on this turn, the first coin flip will always definitely be heads. This is insane, bro. You guys remember Alolan Executor that flips a coin if heads, does 150 damage? Yeah, play Will, slap your opponent 150 guaranteed on a non-EX. This thing is insane. This is probably the craziest supporter I've seen yet. There might even be more. Silver, here's the full art for Silver. Fisher, this synergizes with the new Gyarados. You flip 3 coins for each heads. You take a water Pokemon that is chosen at random from your discard pile and put it back into your hand. So it's absolutely synergizes with the shiny Gyarados that we saw in the trailer. Jasmine here, during your opponent's next turn, all of your Steelix and Skarmory EX. Yep, there you guys have it. That's the metal Pokemon I was referring to. Take -50 damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. This is so good. And then Hiker here is kind of insane. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I kind of predicted this a little bit with the Celebi. For each of your fighting Pokemon in play, look at that many cards from the top of your deck and put them back in any order. That's kind of crazy, man. That's gonna significantly make fighting decks really strong. I might even like start seeing more the non-EX Lucarios come back and stuff like that. I mean, this might even be really good with Rampardos. I don't know, but that's the last supporter we see. And now we're going into EXs, you guys. This is ridiculous. Shuckle EX. Solid Shell Grass Pokemon, 120 HP. This Pokemon takes -20 damage from attacks. Triple Slap 20x. Flip 3 coins. This attack does 20 damage for each heads. This doesn't feel good. I hope there are other cards in the set that make this feel stronger, but I don't know, man. Maybe I'm crazy. I like the ability though. The ability could be pretty good. Lantern EX, 150 HP. Lightning Pokemon, Flashing Signal, 80 damage for 3 energy, 1 lightning. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. If tails, they're confused. Either way, you're flipping a coin and you are guaranteeing something to happen. If you play this with Will, you can hit them for 160 and they can't do anything unless they have Nurse Joy. I think Nurse Joy's stocks are going to go like way up with Will and these types of cards that require a coin flip. This meta is going to be either the most fun or the most toxic. Here's the Espeon EX, we already know. Here's the Kingdra EX, Stormy Prison, 90 damage, water type. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't retreat. Okay, that's pretty good. Here's the Crown Rare Ho-Oh EX, the Immersive Ho-Oh EX. the Full Art Ho EX, Skarmory EX, 140 basic steel type, 2 steel energies, metal energy, steel wing, 70 damage during your opponent's next turn. This Pokemon takes a minus 20 damage from attacks. And then we have Umbreon EX, Dark Chase. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may switch. I mean, we already know this. I'm reading it like this is a new card here, but this is a pretty card. Crobat EX, 1 energy, Venomous Slash, 70 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned, kind of cracked. Donphan, this thing's crazy. Donphan EX, 160 HP, Gigantic Press, 50 plus. If this Pokemon has at least 2 extra fighting energy attached, this attack does 60 more damage. Here's the art, and then here's the Skarmory. Let's see, here's the Crown Rare Lugia. Honestly, this is kind of crazy. That Lugia is insane. Oh man, guys, I'm getting nostalgia from like gold silver era. Oh, and then we already saw these guys, the hikers and stuff. I've also found some more cards from another server. We can go through them real quick. Crawdaunt, 100 HP, Unruly Claw. Once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may discard a random energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. That's pretty solid. Crabhammer for 70 damage. This Togekiss seems incredibly cracked. 140 HP, Magical Shot for 3 energy deals 70. That doesn't seem crazy, but this does synergize with Cynthia. You have to remember that, right? On top of that, it has the ability Celestial Blessing. If any damage is done to this Pokemon by attacks, flip a coin. If heads, nothing happens. You take no damage. Next up is my boy Xatu right here. For those of you that said I was wrong, Life Drain. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon's remaining HP is now 10. You play this with Will? Oh my god, do you guys see the strategy? Xatu Will decks? Bro, they knew exactly what they were doing this set. Oh my god. Next up, we have Tyranitar, 160 Energy Plunder. Once during your turn, you may move all darkness energy from each of your Pokemon to this Pokemon. So if there's another Pokemon that generates, I think you might even play this with Celesteela Guzzlord and Tyranitar. Because not only do you move around with Celesteela, but then you can move the T-Tar here, Luisamine, your Guzzlord, and then Energy Plunder onto this guy. I could be wrong, but that's instantly like what my brain is telling me we should do. Like that feels like a really good. Next up is Typhlosion, 140 HP. Fire Breath is the ability. Once during your turn, you may make your opponent's active Pokemon burned. I think that's pretty good. Deals 60 damage. Magma Punch, not too crazy. And then we have Feraligatr, not an EX, 150. Destructive Whirlpool, 90 damage. Discard a random energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. That is good. That is not a coin flip. You just guarantee that effect. That is so good. And then we have Meganium here, 150 HP, a Bloomshine 80. We already saw this. We knew this. But the effect here says heal 20 from each of your Pokemon. So this is like Florges, I believe. I think it's exactly like Florges, or maybe 1 extra energy potentially. Next up is Politoed, 140 HP. Lordy Cheering is the ability. As long as this Pokemon is on your bench, attacks used by your Pokemon that evolve from Whirlpool do 40 plus damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So there might be a new Poliwrath, I'd imagine, in this set, potentially, maybe. And then we got this card, which is absolutely troll. I love it. I'm going to play it. Splatter Coating, 50 damage, 2 energy. Change the type of a random energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon to one of the following. Any of the random energies. If you hit Giratina with this, they're kind of just cooked, right? Especially if they're not running a Psychic Energy deck. Next up is Octillery. Here's a full art, 100 HP. If the defending Pokemon tries to use an attack, your opponent flips a coin. If tails, that attack does nothing, or that attack doesn't happen. This effect lasts until the defending Pokemon leaves the active spot, and it doesn't stack. Wait, what? It's pretty good. It doesn't synergize with Will. This is actually a counter Will, right? Wait, no, Will will flip a coin heads and this does nothing. Never mind. Will's gonna throw me off my game tremendously today. Man. Now let's talk about the Sacred Beasts. The first one is Entei, 110, Strong Flare, 110 damage. Flip a coin. If tails, discard 2 random energy from this Pokemon. If you play this with Will, you discard nothing. I'm just going to keep referencing Will, you guys. Will in coin flip decks is going to go crazy. Pyrogue has Slappy Knuckle, doesn't ramp. Man, they literally could have given us our first fighting ramp, and they said, nah, here's a 30 HP Pokemon that deals 20 damage. I mean, with Giovanni, you might be able to knock out your opponent's active baby Pokemon, right? That is literally the only use case I can see here for this guy. New Mamoswine deals 160. This attack also does 20 damage to each of your benched Pokemon for a lot of energy. I mean, it might be a gimmick deck. We'll have to find out. We got a new Unknown 60 HP ability Power. This ability works if you have any Unknown in play with an ability other than Power. Attacks used by your Pokemon do plus 10 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. That's pretty good. It's like a consistent Giovanni if you have this Unknown and the other Unknown on your bench. A consistent Giovanni. What that means is if you're playing Mewtwo with red, you can dish out 180 to any EX Pokemon and guarantee you're knocking out every EX Pokemon in the game outside of Venusaur. I mean, again, use case. This is just my brain, how like what the first thing that comes to my mind. I'm sharing it with you guys. Next up is Steelix Heavy Impact. It synergizes with Brock because it's 3 colorless. So this could be a thing, you guys. Here's Blissey. Check the other video on the channel. We talked about a Blissey promo. That one was like rushed out very quickly. I was so excited, and it turns out there are way more cards that we should talk about. So here we have Energy Blow, 20 plus damage. This attack does 20 more damage for each energy attached to this Pokemon. Next up is Clink Clang, 150. Gear Spinner, 3 energy, 2 metal, 1 colorless, 70 damage. During your next turn, this Pokemon's Gear Spinner attack does plus 70 damage. So this is like Togekiss from the other set. That's pretty good. Oh, wait a second. There are even more unknowns, you guys, in this set. We have another one with the ability Guard. This ability works if you have any unknown in play with an ability other than Guard. All of your Pokemon take minus 10. So it's a consistent. So we have Geo consistently and we have a consistent. Bro, what? Nah, dude, get out of here. This is what? The cheese, the tech cards. They're giving us a lot of tech cards this set so far. There's not so many like crazy super strong cards other than like maybe Umbreon and Ho-Oh, so to speak. But like the Will tech card, they're giving us a lot of tech cards and I'm not mad at it. Sizzle right here for 100 HP, Gale Thrust, 2 metal energy, 50 plus. If this Pokemon moved from your bench to the active spot this turn, this attack does 50 more damage. We have Jump Luff right here with Fluffy Flight. Your active Pokemon has, your active Pokemon has no retreat cost? Bro, oh my god. Oh, the strategies. Tangrowth, Grass Knot, 10 plus. This attack does 40 more damage for each energy in your opponent's active Pokemon's retreat cost. Not too bad. This is pretty good. Here's that new Ninetales we were waiting for. 3 energy, 2 fire, 1 color, Scorching Breath, already at 120, which means with Blaine it's 150. During our next turn, we can't attack. However, Fossil Tech, because it's only a single retreat cost, you guys. I might just play Magby and Ninetales, to be honest, so I can ramp this guy quickly. That's insane. And then here's Heracross. This Heracross actually works with the berry, right? Yeah, it does. So I guess you can attack for free, if I'm not mistaken. This becomes a baby Pokemon. If this Pokemon has no damage on it, this attack does 40 more damage. Bro, if you berry turn 1, you dish out 80 damage. I need this like tested. I need to find out. If you play berry with this Heracross, does that mean you just attack for free? That's crazy. This Heracross is so strong. What the heck? New Quillfish poisons your opponent and deals 20 damage. Here's some more Pokemon. Looks like Twitter Pokemon Pockets who posted this one. We have a Gligar, glides for 10 colorless. We have a Wobbuffet, Psychic and colorless, says reply strongly. If this Pokemon was damaged by an attack during your opponent's last turn while it was in the active spot, this attack does 50 more damage, so it deals 80. Any other new Pokemon? T-Tar right here, full art. Blissey, I know, Spinarak. That's new. Another Eevee. Find a friend. That's crazy. How many EVs they gonna give us? All of them. We have Hoot Hoot, Insomnia, Can't Be Put to Sleep, Scratch, Murkrow, Astonish, Flip Coin of Heads, reveals it's literally the Ghastly, Astonish, and then we have a Stantler here, Enhanced Horns 20 plus. If this Pokemon has Pokemon Tool attached, it deals 50 more damage. It's like a worse / better at older Skarmory. Same Pokemon Pocket Twitter. We got a lot more. We got a Zoomeroo here with Thick Fat, takes minus 30 damage from fire and water Pokemon. We have nothing too crazy. Corsola has Find a Friend. Quillfish, Quagsire here, 3 energy, no EXs. Delibird draws a card for you and deals damage. I think that's pretty good, right? That's literally Meowth. Oh, okay, Suicune, Cure Stream, 70 damage during your opponent's next turn. Attacks used by the defending Pokemon do minus 20 damage. So far, Entei and Suicune both synergize with Ho-Oh, which is really cool. Here's that Lantern EX, the Ampharos we already saw. Let's keep scrolling down. Maybe we'll see a Raikou. Oh, okay, Smoochum. This attack does 20 damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So it attacks for free, but can only be really good into something that has energy. Raikou here, Thunder 70. This Pokemon also does 20 damage to itself. Respectable because it's only 2 energy. You probably don't even use Ho-Oh for this. We have Emolga, Raging Thunder, 40 damage. This attack also does 10 damage to one of your benched Pokemon. That kind of stings. Just don't put a benched Pokemon down, you know? Just don't do that. We have Slowking Psychic. This attack does 30 damage for each energy attached to your opponent's Pokemon. And then this guy rests. Jinx, we have the 2 unknowns here. Let's see if we have any other new unknowns. It doesn't look like there's not to. These are so cool. A new Onix, Sudowoodo, and that Wobbuffet. I don't know if these are all the cards, but it looks like these are all the cards that I see on my end. And there you guys have it. A little bit more in thought, like a better review of these cards as I went through them. Once websites like Pokemon Zone update it fully, so that way we know which packs have which cards, I'll be going into another fully in-depth review of every single card, and then giving you guys my honest review on which cards I think might be best. But there you guys have it. Let me know what you think. Let's start the conversation. What the heck? I'm excited. I'm super excited. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Later.